So in this channel, I've made 3 tutorial videos about how to master every character in the strongest Battlegrounds. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I think these videos were rushed, and I did not explain everything very good to all of you. So in this video, I will explain everything you need to know about Why did I pick Genos? Well, I don't know. In my opinion, I think it's just a very fun character to use. Before we start, if you want to use any character, you have to know what your moves could do. Like which move is a combo extender and which doesn't. According to Google, passive on games means an ability that activates without player interaction or do not directly affect the game world. On TSB, every character has its own unique passives. Like Saitama, it allows you to get your ult faster other than any characters. Or Sonic, upon a finisher, you can get a 3 special side dash that you could use. Now, Genos also has its own passive, but there's a twist. You see, every character has only one passive, but Genos, they have not 1, not 2, but 3 fucking passive. Let's start with his first and the best passive. Upon a finisher, if you have a move that has a cooldown, it will resets the cooldown. So imagine that these dummies was a low HP player. I turned off no cooldowns and watch what I can do. So if there's enough people on your range, you basically had no cooldowns. It also works on ultimate mode. However, instead of resets your full movesets, it will just reset the first and second skill. Now, its second passive is also very useful. When you're ragdolled, your evasive dash will have a blast that deals damage and stuns your opponent for an easier punish. If your opponent is low enough, you could kill them with your evasive, which is a pretty funny way to end a fight. Now, the last passive was a mini uppercut, which with Genos, it will launch your opponent way higher, and we could use some tech variety, which I will explain later on the video. Now, before we get into this, keep in mind that almost all of Genos' base movesets can be blockable, so I don't recommend you throwing random moves since they can just block, and you just literally did 1% damage. So let's start with Ignite and Burst's back part. If you hit your opponents with it, You could actually breaks his block and did a knockback. Now you might seen this tech from other YouTubers performing this. Trust me, it is very easy to perform once you get the hang out of it. He'll give us step by step. Let's start with 3, M1. After that, flick your camera 180 degrees while clicking ignition burst and instantly flick it back to hit the second part. Yes, it might took you a few tries, but after that, you will be unstoppable. Time for the second tech. This one is a little bit confusing. Why? Well, if I make my alt holds a block, the tech is actually not true. I tried like 6 more times, but I think it's a not true tech. Well, you could use it if you can get your opponent off guard. This tech is also the one that I found. I mean, it's just another risky tech. Or maybe it's just me that has a skill issue. In my opinion, I think the first ignition burst tech is just better. It might not extend for a combo, but it does a huge damage. For the final tech I got is another popular tech like the ignition burst. You see, a normal jet dive would make you travel 4 blocks. But if you do it like this, you could get double amount of range. To do the tech. It was pretty much the same like the ignition burst one, just flick your camera 180 degrees and then flick it back. Now we could combine this 2 tech into a combo, which looks something like this. Let's do it slowly. So all you need is the ignition burst tech, side dash, and do the jet dive tech. I guess that's all for the tech. It's now up to you about do you want to try and learn Geno's. Once again, all of this tech will be very easy once you get the hang out of it. Let's talk about strategies. Most player. If they seize a Geno's, they'll be careful and just hit a block since all of your moves are blockable. Try landing a side dash or front dash. If you are bad at it, you can just use the back of the ignition burst since it breaks blocks. For the second one, you have to be careful of Guru or Atomic Samurai mains, because 3 of your attacks is an AoE which will make you easily get countered if you just throwing raw moves. You could trick them by faking your moves, for example like this. I think that the only important strategy with Geno's, it's time for ultimate. First up, let's showcase all of the moves first. Thunder Kick. It has a 2 variant. If you miss, you will create a huge AoE attack. This move can also be countered by Guru or Atomic's counter. If you miss. The move has a lot of startup. People around you could cancel it with M1, I-frame moves, or any moves that could make you ragdoll. Speed Blitz Dropkick. This move can't be countered even with Death Counter or Death Blow, but you could miss it very easily. It also creates a AoE damage, but it's blockable. Flame Wave Cannon. I guess you could count it as an AoE attack. It has a very far range, but if you missed it, it's also very easy to get punished. Now, the best of them all, Incinerate. This move was a pretty self-explanatory. The damage on this move will be higher the closer you are with your opponent. Now let's imagine there's a group of players here. Watch what I can do. even if you miss like your speed blitz. If there's at least one low HP player, you can just incinerate and get your goddamn moves back. Yeah, this shit needs a nerf. Now that we are done, I will show you my clips on a public server and a ranked match to see how exactly I play. I mean, you could click off the video now. This part is just a gameplay. If you did, thanks for watching, and I hope this video helps you.
I have two sides.